Welcome to the May 2025 edition of the Tough Love Arena State of the Game stream. I will be your host tonight, I'm Paul Weeks, and I will be telling you all about the current state of the game. What have we accomplished since the last update? What do I think of the current state? And what do you, as fans, players of Tough Love Arena, have to look forward to in the short and long-term future? Let's jump in. So, for context, it's only been 2 weeks since the last one because the April one got pushed back a bunch. So this will be less than usual. But in the past, I attended Level Up Expo, did not table TLA. I was just tabling the new game, Scramble City. It was cool. It's if you're local to Vegas, if you're on the West Coast and it's not too far away, I'd recommend it as like a general gaming con. I don't know if I'm going to go back next year just because it's such a long distance to travel, and I think I want to focus more on fighting game specific events. But had a good time. Can't complain. In addition to that, we doled out the rewards for the April Fool's participation. I've been prepping for Combo Breaker. I've had the opportunity to go to Wonderville and watch a bunch of inexperienced strangers play on the Tough Love Arena cabinet, and it's helping me identify more and more pain points in terms of like certain actions being non-obvious. And it's not like gameplay actions, it's not like how to play, more of like how to start, how to select your character, that kind of stuff. So I might do some small tweaks on the cabinet UI. It won't affect you if you just play normally in the browser. And I've been testing out my mini PCs. This will be the first event I try to run off of them. So tentatively very excited because they'll take up way less baggage space than the old big laptops. And prepping for TLA's secret project. That is all I'll be saying right now, but I want to plant the seeds of anticipation now, and hopefully something cool to announce in the next month or two. We'll see. Present. What do I think about the current state of the game? I think it's fine. No plan changes. Right now I'm just focused on events and the secret project. And other than that, unless I see a bunch of kicking and screaming in the player feedback that we're going to get to shortly, don't anticipate any balance patches in the near future. Speaking of which, what's coming up next? Combo Breaker. So, lovely event, big fighting game event based in Schaumburg. It's like the suburbs of Chicago. I hope that doesn't upset anyone that lives there. I think that's where it is. It's been a really good event for me, for my games, for the last several years. And I'll be boothing both Tough Love and Scramble Heart side by side, like we did last year. Some of the Scramble Heart artists had to back out for personal reasons. So confirmed attendance right now is me, Soup, the VFX artist on Scramble Heart City, and Handsome Phil will be helping me out at the TLA booth. And so we'll have the usual merch, buttons, stickers, lots of nice big prints, and we will have an official side tournament for Scramble Heart. I applied for both, but only Scramble Heart got accepted. It was very competitive this year. But it's super cool event, highly recommend. It's maybe my favorite. It's been the most consistent event since I started traveling in 2022, so I'm really excited for it. I viewed this one as like the dress rehearsal, and it was very useful. We caught a lot of bugs seeing people play the game in public. So very excited about that. Very excited to bring Tough Love Arena back for like the 4th or 5th year now. Probably 4th year. I can't count. Also, I'm realizing I hadn't put this in previous slides, so apologies if this is kind of short notice, but we will be at CEO. Specifically Scramble Heart. Again, not Tough Love. It's difficult to man 2 games and to pay for 2 games, so I'm mostly focusing on the new one, which needs a lot of playtesting and marketing at this stage. But when the price is right, or if I think the community will be there, like I definitely want to bring Tough Love Arena to events still. But this one will just be Scramble Heart, so if you're in Florida on the East Coast, this will be my first time even attending CEO, so tentatively very excited for great things. For there's a good like Marvel tag game scene down there. Hoping Scramble Heart is well received. Upcoming dev work, as I mentioned, I want to make some adjustments to cabinet mode for Combo Breaker, continue to prep for the secret project, and I forgot another thing, which I'll add right here, which I very much intend to do, update mod docs with new April Fool's features. I've just been so busy with the Vegas trip with Level Up, I kept forgetting about it. But I still very much intend to do this. And that's what you can look forward to in the next month. Let's take a quick look at the monthly survey. So I'm going to go into no longer accepting responses. Zoom in as much as we can in this awful new... I wonder... Ooh, can I do this? Sorry. Real quick moment. That did not help. Ooh, there we go. Oh, that did not help. Oh well. So, starting over. How fun do you think Tough Love Arena is to play? Very fun. How easy? Good. Depth? Good. Likely to play again? Good. Likely to recommend? Good and good. These are what I call like the canary in the coal mine questions, just making sure not too many people are suddenly very upset with us. But all pretty consistent. Noodle is above average strong, just barely. Pretty average strong, but very fun. And I finally, after doing these surveys for like 2 or 3 years, discovered that I can solve the issue. Originally I had one question. I was like, if you could add or buff or remove or nerf one thing, what would you do? And people would just say like, Frenzy. And I wouldn't know if that meant buff Frenzy or nerf Frenzy. So I finally updated the form, and now we can tell that the buffs people want to see for Noodle are more ways to Oki with his projectile. Even then, this is ambiguous. Maybe chat knows the lingo better than me. Do you think they're describing more ways to set up projectile Oki, or more things to threaten when you have projectile Oki? Like making the Oki better, or making... I guess they're saying more ways to Oki, but is that like more ways to capitalize on the Oki? That I guess they just mean more ways to set up soup. Right now, what you have like whip, 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 and you have light, heavy whip. Don't really want to give it to you off of Frenzy. It's interesting. It's got me thinking. Probably won't do, but I hear you. Trample / whip pounce RPS, and or some. I think this is the complaint of since we changed. What changed about this? It was some change to either throws and or frenzy, where like you used to be minus and you could threaten frenzy, and it was like a 50-50 on the opponent. But now throw is like a strong option in both. I guess you can tech it, and or some sort. He already has a 5 HL. Doesn't he? No. Oh, he has a 5 LH. He doesn't have a 5 HL. Doesn't have to be a frame trap option. I just really want one. Whip is good enough on its own. I'm sorry. Frenzy should knock the villain across the screen so that they can't reach me. It used to do that. That was considered too strong. And besides, now you can do cool combos. Let a third 5S input automatically delete the oldest soup. That actually, ooh, interesting. I could have it so that, like, because right now, if you have 2 soups out, you just cannot prep soup anymore. You cannot, pressing special does nothing until less than 2 soups exist. We could change it, I'm not sure if this is exactly what they mean by, like, third input, but we could change it just that, like, if you try to do soup a third time, it'll just delete the oldest soup. So only 2 soups can exist, but it doesn't prevent you from doing stuff. Just thinking through some of the implications. Shy Ninja, I might change Noodle. Yeah, it's definitely harder to do with the current engine. I don't think I have any way of saying, like, if you do this, destroy one of your own projectiles. So that would require some new functionality, but I think I do actually prefer that from like a gameplay perspective. I think it's bad when buttons don't work, and it makes it still fair if there's, you know, you can't fill the screen of them. So Maybe? I'll give that one a think. Good suggestion. Thank you. We're spending all this time on Noodle. Let's keep going. This, I guess, 3 soups. How much frame advantage he has on his 4H? What is he right now? I can't go to frame. I'm gonna guess +2. I feel like everything's plus or minus 2. He's either +2 or +5. Trample +5. Okay. I cannot give him more frame advantage. Because then he could just link into light. So that's not good. And it's important to me that you are minus on block. Otherwise, that's just like infinite block string. It's super oppressive. And they want 1 soup. Interesting. So, sorry. I think 2 soups are fine. Rice is not strong. Below average strong. First time I think I've seen this like solidly below average. Kind of averages out to middle of the road fun. Also not stellar to see. They want less recovery frames on teleport. I've already accepted you aren't going to buff SWAT, crying face. I just don't know what to do with it. SWAT is basically unusable because they will just hit me. That's fair. Swipe +1 or 2 on hit. Swipe is +7. Oh, or is it like the second hit? What is the second hit? No, yeah, the second hit is +7. The first hit must not be +7. The first hit, if these numbers are accurate, if it's 15 frames startup, does 24 frames a hit stun, but still has an R26 recovery. Yeah, the first hit would be like minus on hit. Yeah. Chat says -2. I could maybe be convinced to do that. Just because I can see, especially in the mirror, like, oh, my reward for hitting them with swipe is I've given up my turn because we have the same effective range. That doesn't feel great. Oop. Someone redeemed Hydrate, Paul. That's another one I'm open to. Let me write some of these down. Allow third soup to come out, but it erases oldest soup. Rice. Do something about SWAT. Make first hit of 4H +2 on hit. First attack. Add the teleport hitbox from... No. No one wants to nerf anything from Rice. Okay. That tracks with the strength scaling. Beef. Beef is strong. Beef is fun. People want more routes. I can't talk. More routes off of his parry. Beefcake could shoot wall bounce the opponent off the wall. We don't support wall bounce. 2 lemons, absolutely not. That is one thing that I am okay with you not being able to do. With the button just not working, because there's not a version that makes sense or is fair of like the old lemon disappears if you throw it again. So denied. More recovery frames on his parry. Presumably on whiff, so it's easier to whiff punish is what they mean. Not convinced, but thank you. Make fake lemon take longer. Interesting. Also not convinced, but these are good to know. I'll keep an eye on these. Thank you. Pork is strong. That's good to see. I feel like he's usually average. Pork is fun. More routes off Caber. Again, both of these are like free juggle states. So the only way to give them like more routes is if they magically made the opponent grounded. And I don't think I want to do that, because then you have like potentially very long routes. The big limiting factor in Temple of Arena is, airborne versus grounded. And Also kind of makes it hard for both... what was the other one that wanted more routes? Beef. Yeah, both Parry and Caber are hard to make sense leaving the opponent grounded from just like the animation that we have. Beef's Parry could work, kind of. Just put them into like 2 hours of hit stun. But I don't think he needs it. It's already so strong. And... Is this the April? Was this the name of the April Fool's mod from last month? But there's no context. I'm gonna ignore that. More recovery frames on Chop, presumably for whiff punishing, not just for like punishing all the time. Again, not convinced. It's the matchup where it's pretty easy to whiff punish is already like pretty bad. Remove uppercut rapid cancel on hit, because he carries me across the screen. At this point, that is too... it's too ingrained in the identity of the characters now. That's not something we can remove now. Onion is not wildly strong. Is fun. More combos, more ways to approach. What? Don't give Hopkick throw... Make Hopkick... Okay. Ability to project... Oh! So, to clarify for the audience, you can parry projectiles. It will, like, absorb their hit, so you don't get hit by, future active frames or anything. But it does not freeze the opponent. So there are situations where you could, like, parry Lemon, and then Beef can just punch you. Because it doesn't lock him in the same way it does. It follows the same logic as hit stun, which is like, if Beef's Lemon hits you, Beef is still able to move freely while you're experiencing hit stun, whereas if Beef punches you, there's the hit stop that stops both characters. There's basically no hit stop on projectiles, and that seems like a nice... that seemed like the best game feel when we added parries and made them work against projectiles. For the longest time, they didn't work against most stuff. They were very specific. And when I opened it up for them to work against air and against projectiles, that felt like the best compromise, because otherwise it was like too punishing against zoning. And there's still situations where it's kind of good if you like throw the lemon and you're just like walking behind it. Because there's no hit stop, it can be kind of hard to react to the fact that they successfully parried it. Maybe you'll walk into it. I think it's interesting that way. Oh, this is nerf. I can't read. So they're saying they don't want Onion to be able to parry projectiles. For all the same reasons I just explained of how it is an option but vulnerable, I think it's okay for them to be able to do that. Make sweep -3 on block. Does anyone know why -3? What does that enable? I assume it has to do with heavy speeds. Onion has 7 frame sweep. Beef has 9 frames. So right now they trade, and so if sweep was -3, it would be Beef's turn, and carbs would trade. Whereas right now, like, they can't challenge. Right, yeah, it just frame traps against carbs, as long as they stay outside of light range. Challenge it with a trade. I'm curious, if they did trade, Rice would deal 19 hit stun. Onion would do 25 hit stun. If Onion's close enough, they could convert. That's funny. I'd be open to that. I'll think about it. Garlic is strong. Garlic is fun. Wants more combo routes off of his dash. I think there's already a couple of interesting ones. And again, like, it's not really feasible to add new functionality at this point to the game. But I appreciate the feedback regardless. Backflip into jump should be a unique move, like how Karabakh Mega Fist is. This is Potemkin, I believe. Define unique move. We can't add new animation. We could... Does it move forward? Or does it stay in place? Like, that's the thing that we could sort of play with. But... because you can, like, cancel the recovery early into this attack, and because... oh, this is jump, not rounds. My reading comprehension is so bad tonight. My brain just, like, reads what it wants to read. Backflip into jump. Should be a unique move that moves forward. Maybe they want different hitbox on? I just don't see it. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I don't see a compelling version, a compelling alternate to jump. I can't imagine it. I don't have the imagination for it. Make Mystery Meat's hurt box bigger so that he gets hit with more trip loops. Oh, interesting. Is this like a hurt box push box thing that's kind of like unique to this matchup? That's a bug. I'll write that down. If you could remove something, dash spam, no, that's essential. Cross-ups, no, that's essential. Remove the ability to do sneak when dashing backwards? Nah, that's fine. Sneak's terrible. Sneak having later invuln and or being less advantageous, but still plus on hit. What is it right now on hit? I know it's, not... It's in that magic +1 to +5 range. It is +5. Okay. No, I think this is fine. It's their turn. They get to take their turn. But I'm potentially open to this. I would have to step through. Let me just take a look. I don't remember anything. Is this the syntax? Nice, okay. Quick little experiment. So if you... Okay, so this is what I wanted to make sure. You are vulnerable during this part. If you weren't, I was like, I'm open to making this part vulnerable. But at that point, I think, yeah, they're invulnerable. So, won't do, but noted. I'll be on the lookout for it. What about TLA Appealed? The fact that I could play it in Chrome, free to play, fun game free on browser. Thank you. What keeps you? Just returned because of the wonderful community, accessibility, modding, fun game, community. What upcoming event and or game feature are you most looking forward to? Tournaments. Can't wait to join my first one. Awesome. Whoever this was. We have our major every 3 months. We'll do a July one, the summer tournament. But don't forget there's also Tough Love Gauntlet every week if you haven't already checked that out. Gunshots, no idea. Summer tournament. Sharing with friends. I don't have friends and they fell off and enjoyed. Any other thoughts? You're the best, Paul. Please add more ways to combo. Thank you, Pale. You're so awesome. Thank you. Fun game. Thank you. And I won't reveal the last answer. Cool. Good ideas. Lots of good brainstorming. Maybe I probably shouldn't be like trying to patch the game on the way to Combo Breaker. Or should I? Some of these are pretty low-hanging fruit. Some of them actually really resonate with me, like this one. Although now that I'm realizing that book does have the thing doesn't work behavior, and I really, I think that's the way it should be, that makes me hesitate a little. They don't have to be the same rules. Shiggy has a quote. I don't know if this is real or if they're just saying something. So I have been dormant for eons, but have come back to just mess around with the game, but I'm finding I can't chop with pork in the middle of my combos anymore. Was that an update or am I doing something wrong? It's real in general. I assume this is just player error. Let me make sure autoblog is on. Yep. Yeah, I wonder if if they forgot, like, if they're trying to RC off that or off that. That actually works. Or that'd be my guess. Like, this is not super well tutorialized. It's like the optimal time to do it. So I'm hoping that that's the issue. If someone wants to clarify that to them, or when I upload the VOD, you can send this with a timestamp. Cool. Back to the slides. And I will give a brief, after I cough a little bit more and drink some water, I'll give a brief Scramble City. It's in the combo trials, Brick Eater, yeah, but I don't think it's like explained. So like RC the first hit and not the second. That'd be my guess. I got you, Shine Ninja. I'm the cough factory. So, Scramble City update. A bunch. I've been working a fuck ton on it, as have the rest of the team, all doing wonderful jobs. So, Harmony and Gain are now fully playable. We now have 5 unique characters. We redesigned all of Alistair's specials. We reworked the IPS system and what happens when it pops. Improved performance by several milliseconds. Found that like there was a big what's the word? Inefficiency in specifically like the input parsing part. And was able to fix that, so that's exciting. Added casual queue for the next playtest. Added low res sprites because unlike TLA, because this game uses the GPU, if your machine is too weak, it won't. I'm not actually that worried about the game running slow for people. The big issue is just like the amount of textures, because you have to load so many characters in at once, might not fit in your available memory. So I'm trying to work out an option where it's low res, it looks like potato, but it's completely playable. And that if you try to play the game at normal res and it crashes, then it can redirect you to the low res version. And that way you can still play the game for the playtest, because we'll still be optimizing this and we'll still be finding better ways to compress things. But for now, just so people can play this playtest, because it's not like last time where if your machine is too weak, you at least get to play maybe 1 match or 2 matches or like 5 minutes. Now we allocate all the memory up front, which is much better for performance. There's no garbage collecting, and we know immediately whether or not we have enough memory for all the characters, but it also means it crashes immediately. As soon as you start the game, it says, please give me X gigs of RAM, and if your computer says no, the game doesn't work. So I think it's definitely better to have it front-loaded, to have that information. And low res is like a workaround, now that it's like this binary works or doesn't work. That hopefully anyone could play on low res, because potato. And yeah, we got the game running on Windows. So now we're just ironing out a few visual bugs. The fonts are different. The stage textures are like a little too big, so we're waiting on some tooling on that. And some things are still like aligned funny. But getting closer every day. And now we'll throw it to the Q&A. So, hello. I'm on camera view. Observe my unpacked apartment. Looks like last time. Now with different junk around. Starting now in chat, I will be reading any questions. If you asked a question earlier, please just repost it. I will not be scrolling up. And we will talk until either I run out of questions or I get tired. Whichever comes first. That's a question. Table. The takeaway from the RICE survey is I'm open to doing something about SWAT, and I'm open to making swipe +2 on far hit. I didn't show the slides. Oh my god. I need to have like... I described it all so you could hear me. But these were my takeaways from the survey. Read real fast, screenshot, whatever. Okay, cool. Back to Q&A. I wonder if instead of like this full screen, I should just like swap them. So it's like mostly me, but there's a tiny version of the slides, so people can maybe still see a little bit of what I'm looking at, or I can also see clear that something went wrong. Gotta make dinner with cheers. Thanks for stopping by, Shiggy. Appreciate it. Brick Eater asks, can you make Sneak restand on anti-air? No. Clothless asks, can someone send Paul... no. Shine asks, can you give me a summary of everything that happened in the last 3 months? April Fools? That's about it. Mox says, yes, and Spice, 5H would be more minus. Down to try that out. Q&A question. Can you add a way to control P2 on mobile? Currently, you can only use... Kerbo asks, can you add a way to control P2 on mobile? Currently, you can only use the record function to do it, but due to a bug, if you have a recording... Excuse me. Yawn. Already tired. Due to a bug, if you have a recording and record movement while recording attacks, it still records even if the recording never technically started? There's a bug where if you have a recording and record movement while recording attacks, it still records. Is this like a bug specific to mobile? Or it's a bug that is on both but only really matters on mobile? Specific to mobile? Ew. I had no idea. Oh, it happens on both. But it only matters on mobile. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you can send me a video so I can repro, I'm happy to fix bugs around the recording. But as for the actual question, can you add a way to control P2 on mobile? How? I'm open to suggestions, but where would I put it? How would you do it? I can't think of any good solutions. Open to suggestions. Flamenco says, I don't get why the modding tools are stuck in their first primitive version. If modding tools are so great, how come there's no modding tools too? How did I not see that coming, Flamenco? I'll eventually take the whip off. They've changed a lot, but there's also the original plan was for modding tools too, where it was this whole like offline app, but it's not happening anymore because life happened and I got this great opportunity to make another game and I have to focus on that. So I gotta wrap up TLA, but that is why. Tail says, if you don't know, Rice only gets combos versus Mystery Meat due to the extended hurt box. Only gets combos? Do you mean like they have Mystery Meat specific combos? Curious if you can elaborate on that. I did get the feedback of Spices don't have some issues with their combos. Shine Ninja says, hey, could you document all the new stuff added to modding? Yes, I have that on my to-do. People explaining mobile stuff. She says, pause menu, control player 2. Could you have a control option for U2 that acts like the recording, but without recording? I don't understand the use case. If you can only control... In what situation would you want to control P2 when you also cannot control P1 because you've swapped the controls? What's the value to that? Because I don't understand. I often, while like testing, will move both characters at the same time with my keyboard, so I can have like P2 walk into player 1. But yeah, if you can only move one at a time, if you just want to get them out of the corner, you just throw them, kind of thing, right? So I'm not gonna spend time working on something that seems completely useless to me. So I just don't understand. Please, if you can explain further, I'm open to hearing it. Table says, oh, by the way, I was the one with the sneak thing. Sneak being +5 on hit means that if you immediately jump, it beats throw unless you mash tech within 2 frames. Essentially, less plus sneak equals more delay techable. If you immediately jump, it beats throw unless you mash tech. I'm sorry if I seem stupid tonight. I'm embarrassed about this VOD. Now I don't want to upload it because I feel like I'm just arguing with chat of like, I don't know what the fuck you people are talking about. I assume you're saying if garlic immediately jumps, it'll beat the opponent mashing throw. Or whatever the timing would be to tech their +5 throw. I kind of understand what you're talking about. I don't think it matters. Sorry. Not important to me. Unless you can explain that it's more important. Clarifying, yes, Rice does have mystery meat specific combos. That's cool. I didn't know that. Probably need to rest. Sorry, I'm holding in chat. She says, not just you, Paul, it's like when someone has something, but it can just mean multiple things. Yeah. Okay. I think my answer to everyone's questions is no. I have caught up to the bottom of chat. Sounds like Table has one more question. Happy to hear it. Can you buff Mystery Meat 6S? That's the super slow jump that does a bunch of damage. Do I have access to Mystery Meat? P1 Boss Pork. Nice, okay. I'm just curious. I'm probably not going to change, just because I actually want to. I just want to redo like everything about these boss characters. But just because I'm curious what they're talking about, this. Yes, the original intention is that is purely for. I can't. Thank you. Chat can't see. We are looking at Mystery Meat now. We are in the game. We did it. Thank you, Shigi. Thank you so much. Its purpose was just to be the big damage cash out. So when you get a launch off of light, you can either, light again, or you could do that for like a close knockdown. And the idea was you could do that for big damage, but far knockdown. That was its purpose. Niche, yes. What else does he have? That. Oh yeah, that also launches. So let's just scoot you back over here. So oh yeah. It was like boo, nope, too many hits. Fuck. I'm terrible. Trying to remember a combo I haven't labbed. You could do that. That's what it's for. Very niche damage tool. It is terrible, yes. Yes, but the unblockable setup loses to reversals for the characters who have reversals. Please add DI to TLA. Hell no. Hell no. See all these easy no's in chat. Okay. I think that wraps this one up. Again, it was a short month because last month's State of the Game was so delayed. It was a short Q&A because I can't understand what any of the kids are saying anymore. I'm too old. I've got brain damage. I can't understand what anyone's saying anymore. Oh right, and you can. I'm tiny. You can kind of see it. I meant to, jokingly flash that. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Thank you for coming to this State of the Game stream. I have to go back again to show, as a reminder, coming up, I will be having both games at Combo Breaker. Would love to see you there. Wonderful event. I'll also be exhibiting at CEO for the first time. I think we should have one more state of the game before that. So I'll be able to remind you. And we will have an official tournament in July. I'll probably announce the date next state of the game, but it will be a Friday. Kuro says, please check DMs. That's not a question, Kerbo. Oh, okay, it's the bug. Yeah, no, I'll look at that after. Cool. So on that note, on Scramble Heart updates, I'll put that in the Scramble Heart server later. Thank you, everyone. Sorry if I mauled it a little bit tonight. Again, I'm very grateful and I'm very happy that people are invested and want to ask questions and want to request things and want to joke around. I just, I'm always tired during these things. I'm always tired and I'm sick and I'm coughing. But they're fun to do. It's fun to chat with you all. I am still sick, but I'm not as sick as last day of the game, so I am feeling a lot better. And I should hydrate more, apparently. And so on that note, have a good night, everyone. See you at the next one. And or see you at the events, and or sign up for TLG. Don't forget that. It's very cool. Shout outs to Shiggy in the chat. Okay, bye. How do I turn this off? There we go. Okay, goodbye.